heartbreaker there, Frankie?
Yeah, they were asking me on ESPN radio, do these triple overtimes drain you? They drain you if you lose. If you win, they really don't. You're jubilant and you're excited and you're proud of your guys. I'm proud of my guys anyway. I'm just saying, you feel if they wanted to go, if we could have went 10 overtimes and got to win, I'd have went 10. So yeah, I don't know if it's frustrating. It's just kind of disappointing because both teams fought so hard. Somebody's eventually going to win or lose, and they just did some things better down in the end than we did.
Seemed like shots just weren't falling there in the last.
Yeah.
3 minutes.
That's what the difference was, you know what I mean? They hit big shots and we didn't, There was 2 times I remember specifically, I think it was the second overtime, maybe it might have been the third, but I think it was the second. We were up 3, Ham hit a 3. We were up 3 a second time, and I think it was either Ham or Wilcox hit a 3, So when you're at that, when you're up by 3 in an overtime, and then if a team misses and you can get one more basket and go up by 5 like they did, you kind of feel like that's 20. 3 is still 3, but 5 makes a difference, especially according to the time of the game.
And as far as big contributors of tonight's game, we had Eli Redmond and Chris Webb.
Yeah.
Second half, they really showed their skills.
And you said the key word, second half. The problem was, we go into triple overtime, but we're down 10 at halftime. If we take care of business in the first half, if we do a better job of boxing out, if we do a better job defensively, we gave up a lot of straight line drives the first half, and that obviously in turn, people give a misconception. They'll jump a post guy when somebody gets an offensive rebound, but if the guard drove and the post guy helped on the guard who did drive, then that opens up easy offensive rebounds, and that's what happened to us a lot the first half. They had, I want to say, 8 second chance points the first half, and that was really the difference in the game, to tell you the truth. I mean at that time. But guys, young people have trouble understanding that the first shot or the first defensive possession counts the exact same, I should say, as the last defensive possession or the last shot. So you have to be focused to go from the very start.
Talk about the end of regulation. They had those 2 real quick buckets, went up 5 with about 40 seconds left, and I think it was Shop at that 3.
Yeah.
Really able to kind of come back, and that really could have been bad.
Yeah, and we were actually trying to isolate Eli again on one of our set plays, and then it kind of they guarded it well, and then we just kind of moved the ball. That part of Schaaf shooting, it wasn't a set, it just kind of filtered around to where he was open on the right wing. It seems to be his best spot, and he knocked down a nice 3, and then we come down, got stopped, and we got a basket, and next thing you know, it's overtime again, or overtime I should say for the first time. And we were excited. We were very excited because I don't think we ever led the whole regulation. So I don't think we did. So when it ended up being, what was the overtime score? 70-70? Yeah. So when we looked up at 70, we were jubilant to be able to go into overtime compared to how we had been down.
Seemed with how close they were calling that game and how many free throws you guys were hitting, it seemed like that would kind of play in your favor. Things went on.
Yeah, we hit some free throws, but I don't know that we went to the line as much as I'd like for us to later.
Going back to looking at that second half there, what did you talk about to prepare for that second half?
Well, we emphasized like we had, from day one when we started preparing for Northwood on Sunday, and it came back to bite us, and it's obvious. It's their offensive rebounds, and I don't think that the general public have any clue of how much detail that the coaches and assistant coaches put into time spent. Our guys get a 6 to 8 page scouting report that details every single player, their tendencies, their statistics, their percentages, free throw percentages, everything. And then we always have on the front page of keys to victory. Well, the number one key to victory to beating Northwood that you have to do is box out. And at halftime, I just reiterated, we did talk about the drives I had alluded to earlier, that they were getting a lot of offensive rebounds because the guards were giving up perimeter drives, so we told them we needed to really stop that, of course. And then I thought we did a better job over the second half, but they still got some rebounds that really hurt us,
And looking at your next game, you're actually playing Northwood again on the 15th. So how are you going to prepare and adjust for this?
Well, obviously the best thing you can ever do when you've played a team is watch the way you played them. You know what I mean? So it'll just be film breakdown with them. We don't have another game between now and then, and they play at Wayne State. So we'll start watching this actually tomorrow as a team. I think at 4 o'clock we're just going to bring them in and watch it instead of practice, and just kind of break it down and talk about things that we really won't hurt us was defensively. We haven't shot the ball well this year as a team. And that's been really been sad, to tell you the truth, because I think we have better shooters than what we're showing, but you can't say that if they're not shooting the ball well. So we're just going to try to get better defensively against them. They really hurt us on a lot of high lows with the post making the pass to the guard, because there's no ball side help when the ball's in the middle of the court. And a couple of times Bobby Lewis, one time Van D got, I always say Van D got a couple on the post. Bobby Lewis got a couple on the post. So we have to figure out a plan for that. We're either going to have to trap it, or we're going to have to smother we're going to have to do something. We're going to have to do something different than to let them just lob it in there for a post guy to score. For a guard to score in the post.
And even with the loss, it was kind of a big night for Chris Webb. He broke his 900 career points. So do you have any comments on that, or?
Oh, Chris Webb's as one of the best kids I ever coached in my entire life, as a person and as a basketball player. You know, any accolades that he can ever get, whether he'll be in the 1,000-point club, maybe not this year, possibly, but probably early next season. So, and he was defensive player. You know, he was freshman of the year, and then he was defensive first team All-League defensive last year. So he's had a lot of accolades, and he works and gets everything he deserves, I should say.
When you guys were down 8-9 most of the second half, it was really his touch that kind of got
Yeah.
where you
It really was. I mean, he come alive second half, and we've challenged him, especially Coach Coles has challenged Chris to be more aggressive. You know, there's obviously a time to let the game come to you, and Chris does that, but sometimes he waits and let it come to him too late, or too late into the game. We wanted him to do what he did first half, second half. It doesn't mean he has to make the shots that he made, but he needs to be aggressive and attack and make those shots, and he really was aggressive offensively the second half.
And kind of looking forward to the rest of your season too. It's getting down towards the end. You have Northern Michigan and you have Michigan Tech and Northern Michigan coming up. Both of those were close games. Kind of what are your outlooks for that?
Well, first of all, we got to deal with Hillsdale after Northwood, who was number 18 team in the nation here at home, and then we have to go to Northern and Tech. I thought we played better. When we beat Northern and Tech. We played better against Northern and Tech, or I should say we won by more. But I thought when we played Tech, we really played good as a team, you know. And once again, talking about young people and athletes, it's not going to be easier to beat Tech at Tech, but it's good that we beat them here. It's not going to be easier to beat Northern Michigan at Northern Michigan, but we did beat them here. So hopefully we can propel that as we go up for the UP trip. That's why I was trying to get the guys to understand. It's not going to be easier to beat Northwood at Northwood next Wednesday because we had them here. All teams play better at home, of course. So we'll just, take care of them and then Hillsdale as well, and then head up to the UP and try to get 2 more wins up there and see if we can squeak our way into the GLIAC tournament.
And are your chances for that looking decent for low seed, or?
I don't. Depends. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm like a chemist trying to put. Now we really needed. I'll be honest with you, to really put ourselves in a very good position. We needed to win these 2 games because Northwood does have a very tough game, and probably the biggest problem is that we're kind of competing against Northwood for that 8th spot. So now they really go up on us by 3 games. So we have to get that one next week to cut it to 2. They play Wayne State Saturday. That will be a tough road. Tough to get that win on the road, I should say. And then they go on the same UP trip we do. So, if we can beat them, and if they happen to lose to Wayne, now once again that come into that 1 game factor where. Whoever loses, if we happen to beat Tech and Northern and they happen not to, then now we got to go back to the tiebreaker and all that stuff. But if we don't beat them next Wednesday, unless there's like a meteor hits the GLIAC office or something, I don't know how we can get in. And unless there's always the things of some teams could upset some teams and trickle down and have some different wins and stuff. So that's possible. But it gets slimmer the more games we lose.
Frank, can you remind me, is it 4 teams out of each division, or is it top 8 overall?
It's top 8 overall. Yeah, it's top 8 overall. So they had originally talked about doing 4 teams in each division, and I, at the head coaches meeting, said, come on, man, that's ridiculous. Cost. We know that sometimes there's South teams. I mean, if you look at the North, really, till we lost tonight, there's not no more than like a couple of games that separates everybody. So it wouldn't be fair to let a team over there that had less wins, you know what I mean? They'd be in over a team on our side or something. So it is the top 8.
Thanks, Frank.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. No problem.